if you were going to recommend to someone to try to make your body more fat adaptive, what would be the first step? Just to radically cut back on sugar? Should you do it slowly? Should you taper off? Or should you just give them up?
Either way, I mean, it's easier, I think, if you just give it up, you just go all in. If you're somebody who's been depending on sugar your whole life, and you're doing 400, 500, 600 grams a day of carbohydrate, then going down to 100 or 120 is going to be painful for the first couple of weeks. And when I say painful, we have this thing called the Low-Carb Flu. So you go from your body, your brain expecting to have you refuel every meal for every couple of hours every day with carbohydrate, to then reducing it down to 120, 150 grams a day. The brain starts to go, what's going on here? I mean, the muscles haven't yet built the metabolic machinery to burn fat. They're working on it, and they're upregulating. The genes are turning on to create the enzymes, but they're not there yet. It takes about 21 days to do this. So in the process, the body is expecting sugar, and if you're trying to work out at the same time, you're going to be screwed, because now you have your sugar depleted, and you haven't learned how to burn fat yet, and the brain is depleted. And so the brain goes, I'm foggy, I can't think, I've got a headache, I'm dizzy, this sucks, I'm going to eat a bagel. So you have to not train during that time. Cut it way back. Don't do any glycolytic training. So just ride the bike easy, go for a hike, or do some stuff like that. But you can't really train hard when you're doing that. So 1 or 2 weeks, people get through that fog, and then they'll be good. I have a book called The 21-Day Total Body Transformation. It's the 21 days is about how long it takes to get 80% of the benefits of becoming a fat-burning beast, is what we. So
you got to commit to it, and you've got to assume there's going to be an adjustment period.
Yeah. And in that adjustment period, it's not going to be, I mean, for some people it's minimal. They just feel a little bit low energy or whatever. Other people get headaches and woozy, because that's the brain, again, recognizing that there's no glucose, and it hasn't yet built the metabolic machinery to burn ketones, even though the body may be producing ketones. And when the body produces ketones, you can either burn them as fuel, or you can spill them out in the urine and the breath. And so a lot of people who have not yet become keto adapted, like a sugar burner, a carbohydrate dependent person, will still produce ketones if you skip 2 meals. You wake up in the morning, you're basically fasted if you're a sugar burner, and you wake up, and if you don't eat breakfast, you might smell ketones on that person's breath, or they might pee on a strip, and it shows a certain amount of ketones in the blood, in the urine, because the body's just getting rid of the ketones because it can't burn them. It doesn't know how to burn them yet.
So consuming exogenous ketones doesn't accentuate a ketogenic diet, or it doesn't accelerate it?
I don't know enough about the clinical trials that are going on right now, but my assumption would be that if you take exogenous ketones and you're not fat adapted to keto adapted, it's not going to necessarily prompt you to become that, unless you've done the dietary manipulation as well. Okay,
so there's no shortcuts to that transitionary period between a glucose-based diet and a fat-based diet. There's just going to have to be a transitionary period. If I had a shitty diet, I'm eating spaghetti all day, you would recommend that for a couple of weeks, I just take it real light and make this adjustment. Make a commitment to making the adjustment in the diet, doing a fat-based diet with very low sugar, very low carbohydrates, cut out the grains entirely. You get all your carbohydrates from celery and lettuce and vegetables and some fruits, and just make a commitment to it.
Yeah. And part of that commitment is I'm not going to train like a banshee for the first 2 weeks. I'll train, but I'll do easy stuff. And that's what the first chapter in our book, which should be about diet, is about training and about low-level training.
And which book?
The Primal Endurance book that just came out a few weeks ago. The first chapter should be about diet, because that's clearly one of the most important parts. But we talk about training first because we figured enough endurance athletes would read the book that if they read the diet part first, they would continue training at the high level and embrace the diet, and then fall apart.
Right.
So we got to get the training dialed in first for those people, and say here's why you have to cut back. Here's why you can't exceed a heart rate of 180 minus your age for the first couple of weeks training when you're doing long distance stuff. And at that rate, you'll be burning mostly fat. So you'll be accentuating what's going on the dietary side, which is restricting carbohydrates and providing more fat, more healthy fats for your body, and creating more mitochondrial biogenesis and upregulating those mitochondria to become efficient at burning fat.
How long does it take before your body reaches the optimum level of mitochondria?
I mean, we see athletes who are still who get 80% of their benefit the first 3 weeks, and then another 10% over the next 6 months, and then the final benefits kick in the last 6 months, because sometimes you lose your top end power diminishes as you become fat adapted. So you got to get that top end power back, but that's what we build in the gym. So it's a longer process, but once it happens, so it's like 80%, and then 6 weeks later another 10%, and then 6 weeks later, could be 6 months later another 10%.
So in the course of a full year, you're still slowly adapting.
Yeah, I think within a year, maybe a little bit more than a year, you can, if you do everything right, you can be this completely rebuilt engine.
That's amazing. When you do a lot of cardio in a day, like 4 hours of cardio in a day, he goes, all the internal chatter just goes away.
Yeah.
I go, yeah, there's no negative talk. Yeah. There's no like anxiety and angst. And I really wonder how much of that people walk around with all day could be fixed with cardio. It could be fixed with like rigorous exercise. You know, and they say weightlifting helps anxiety too. They say strength training does. But for me, it's like cardio. Cardio seems to put me in this place where it just is like, whatever, who gives a fuck? It's just like just a really peaceful, it like balances out what's really important to think about and worry about, versus like things that are just sort of bouncing around your head. You don't know if I should pay attention to that one or that one, and like, what should I freak out about the most? Ari figured out that you could watch TV while you were doing cardio. So he watched movies on an iPad while he's doing cardio.
Yeah.
And he ran up a big number, like 400 in a day. We're like, fuck. That's a big number. That was like 2 movies.
Yeah.
And so then we really started getting crazy. And then one day I did 1,100 points. I did 7 hours of cardio.
No shit.
Yeah.
Mostly what, running?
No, mostly elliptical machine, because you could watch movies.
Yeah.
So I watched John Wick like 50 times. I kept rewinding it to the scene in the bathhouse where he kills everybody. It's just because it's so adrenaline filled, you can keep going.
Yeah.
I watched some fights. I watched a bunch of shit, and it's like, it just got too crazy.
Yeah.
We were losing our minds.
All right.
We were really losing our minds. We were talking a lot of shit to each other. And Tom got sick. Tom got the flu. And then the day he got better from the flu, he ran 13 miles.
No shit.
The day he got better, he ran 13 miles through his neighborhood, through the hills.
Damn. That's different than a treadmill. 13 miles on the street is like...
That's real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do it all. It all comes down to a strict daily routine, which is centered around maintaining a healthy mind and body. Every Sunday, Rogan takes the time to plan out his workouts for the week ahead. He follows the Pavel-Tsatsouline protocol, which emphasizes regular strength training and stopping short of failure. This protocol has been proven to be highly effective at increasing strength and muscle mass, and it's a key part of Rogan's fitness routine. But he doesn't just stick to strength training, he also incorporates kickboxing and jiu-jitsu into his routine whenever he can. In fact, on an episode of his podcast, he revealed that he's even considered becoming a professional fighter at some point in his life. It's clear that physical fitness is a huge priority for Rogan, and he's always looking for ways to challenge and improve himself. But it's not just about the physical aspect of fitness for Rogan. He also pays close attention to his diet. He avoids unhealthy foods like bread, carbs, and sugar, instead opting for a diet rich in vegetables and game meat, as well as daily vitamin supplements. On an episode of his podcast, he emphasized the importance of eating high-quality food and how it can drastically improve one's overall health. He believes that what you put into your body is just as important as the exercise you do, and he makes sure to fuel himself with the best possible nutrients. But a typical day in the life of Joe Rogan isn't just about working out and eating right. In 2015, Rolling Stone documented a day in his life, and the writer noted that Rogan makes use of every minute of the day and then finds a way to squeeze even more out of each moment. From hosting his podcast, to working on various projects, to spending time with his family, he is always on the go. So, what does a typical day look like for Rogan? It all starts with an early wake-up call. Rogan is an advocate for the benefits of an early morning routine, and he often wakes up around 5 a.m. to get a jump start on his day. After waking up, he spends some time meditating and journaling to clear his mind and set intentions for the day ahead. This mindfulness practice helps him start his day off on the right foot and sets the tone for the rest of his day. Next up is his workout. As mentioned earlier, Rogan follows a strict exercise routine, and he makes sure to get his sweat on every day. He believes that regular exercise is crucial to maintain both physical and mental health, and he makes it a priority in his daily routine. After his workout, it's time for breakfast. As someone who values the importance of high-quality food, Rogan takes the time to prepare a nourishing breakfast that will fuel him for the rest of the day. This could be something like eggs with veggies and wild game meat, or a smoothie made with nutrient-rich ingredients. Once he's fueled up and ready to go, it's time for Rogan to tackle his various projects. This could include recording an episode of his podcast, working on a television or film project, or meeting with clients. No matter what he has on his plate, Rogan approaches each task with the same level of dedication and focus. He is known for being highly productive and efficient, and he makes the most of every minute of his day. But it's not just work and no play for Rogan. He also takes the time to relax and unwind. He enjoys activities like hunting, practicing archery, and getting some cryotherapy. Cryotherapy involves standing in a chamber with extremely cold temperatures, which has been said to have numerous health benefits, including reducing inflammation and improving sleep. Rogan also spends time in a flotation tank, which allows him to relax and let his mind wander. Flotation therapy involves lying in a tank filled with Epsom salt and water, which creates a feeling of weightlessness and allows the mind and body to fully relax. It's a great way for Rogan to distress and recharge after a busy day. Overall, it's clear that Rogan's daily routine is centered around maintaining a healthy mind and body. From his dedication to fitness and nutrition to his commitment to self-care and relaxation, he has found a formula that works for him and allows him to thrive in all areas of his life. It's no wonder he's been able to achieve so much success at the age of 52. But it's not just about his personal success. Rogan is also deeply committed to helping others. He frequently invites experts and thought leaders on his podcast, The Joe Rogan Experience, to share their knowledge and insights on a wide range of topics. From science and technology to health and wellness to philosophy and politics, Rogan has a knack for attracting some of the most interesting and intelligent people in their respective fields. And he's not just a passive host, he actively engages with his guests, asking thought-provoking questions and pushing them to think critically and share their unique perspectives. Through his podcast, Rogan is able to reach a massive audience and provide a platform for these experts and thought leaders to share their knowledge and ideas. It's not just about entertainment. He is always looking for ways to educate and inspire his audience. He believes that personal growth and self-improvement are crucial for leading a happy and fulfilling life, and he encourages others to strive for their best selves as well. In addition to hosting his podcast, Rogan also uses his social media platforms to share knowledge and inspire others. He frequently posts about a variety of topics, including fitness and nutrition, self-improvement, and personal development. He is an avid reader and always has a stack of books by his bedside, and he often shares his favorite reads with his followers. He also shares his own experiences and insights, offering a unique perspective on various topics. Rogan is a firm believer in the power of knowledge and personal growth, and he is always looking for ways to inspire and educate others. Whether it's through his podcast, social media, or other mediums, he is committed to sharing his knowledge and helping others to achieve their best selves. It's this dedication to helping others that sets him apart and makes him such an influential and beloved figure in the world of media and entertainment. Thanks for watching our video on the ruthless daily routine of Joe Rogan. We hope you found it insightful and inspiring. We hope you've gained a better understanding of the habits and practices that have made him such a success in so many areas of his life. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more like it, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. We have tons of great content on a variety of topics, and we'd love for you to join our community. And don't forget to comment below and let us know what you thought of the video. We love hearing from our viewers and are always open to suggestions for future content. Thanks again for watching, and we can't wait to connect with you in our next video. Until then, stay tuned and stay ruthless.